What's up, y'all? It's me. So, in case you haven't heard, which I mean, you probably have if you're into games, but Xbox just increased their prices, and I mean, they increased their prices on everything. And later on in the year, near the holidays, their game prices are gonna be up to $80. So, I guess that's just gonna be the new standard from now on. The prices are here on screen right now, but I'll just say some of them out. So, the Series S is going from $299 to $379, so $80. The 1 TB version of that is $350 to $430, so $80 again. The Series X is up by $100, and the digital is $450 to $550. The Series X, this version, $500 to $600, and damn, that is expensive as hell. And the 2 TB version of the Series X is going from $600 to $730, so that's $130 markup. Like, what the hell? The PS5 Pro is actually less expensive than that. That's actually pretty insane. And you can see their controllers and their headsets are also getting more expensive. And like I said before, they are also increasing their game prices to $80 this holiday season. So if you're wanting an Xbox and we're thinking of getting it but just kind of like holding it off, you might want to try to get it now, because I don't think you want to spend an extra couple $100 for the console, whatever console it is, the accessories, and any games you want. Honestly though, it's not really surprising, since Nintendo did raise some of their prices like 2 weeks ago or something for their products, like their cameras and stuff. And also they did price their new Mario Kart game at $80. So seeing Xbox do the same kind of like is expected, because now I'm just waiting for Sony to do the same thing, because they're also gonna do it. And if they didn't, that'd be kind of crazy, just like Sony being like, we're just sticking to the price. That would drive sales so much to them. But they are gonna increase it. Like, I'm just wondering when they're announcing it. Maybe like tomorrow they announce it, since they're seeing that Xbox did it and Nintendo too. They're like, oh yeah, everything's more expensive now too, so can't blame us. Xbox did say why they increased their prices, saying that it's the rising cost of development and also the current market conditions. So Trump's tariffs, that's the reason they gave. But I'm pretty sure that they could have kept the prices the same, because like they're owned by Microsoft, so they can handle that their prices stay the same. It won't really hurt them that much, but they're just not going to do that because money. And what sucks now is that gaming won't be able to be a hobby for a bunch of people now, since gaming is getting more and more expensive. Like, new people won't be able to get into gaming, and people that are already into this hobby are gonna have to spend even more money to be able to enjoy it, or they won't be able to engage with this hobby anymore just because of how expensive it's becoming. And it's even worse because a lot of games, I said this in the Nintendo Switch video I made like a while ago, but a bunch of games aren't worth the price they are right now. A bunch of them are broken, or a bunch of them just suck, they aren't interesting. And now that they're going to be priced up even more, now it's like, now you kind of have to take an even bigger risk of like, does this game even work? Is this game even fun to play? Because if I just spent $80 on it, I'd expect the game to be good and work at least. But if some games are, it's kind of like, well, you just wasted $80 for nothing. And if you're like actually into gaming, you should probably be upset at this, because now you can't really enjoy it, like how I've been saying. And I don't know why you would defend this, because it's kind of like, why wouldn't you want to get people into this hobby with you as well? Like, playing games is super fun. There's a variety of them. I'm sure you're gonna find something you enjoy. So I don't know why you'd be like, or someone would be like, oh, who cares if the prices increase, blah blah blah, this, right? It's like, do you not want people to have access to this hobby that you enjoy, so they could also enjoy it, to be able to get into something new and fun that they could like? It just doesn't make sense as to why anyone would be defending the price increase, unless they're getting paid by Microsoft. Then I can see why they would. If you're a normal person, you probably don't want to see your favorite hobby, or just a hobby you enjoy overall, get more expensive. And it's crazy too, because I can sit here and complain, and a lot of people are complaining clearly, but nothing's gonna change. Like, it's not gonna matter, because it's gonna stay like this, and it's gonna get even more expensive. We saw what happened with Nintendo. Everyone was complaining about the prices, that they weren't gonna buy it, and then pre-orders roll out, and that shit sells out instantly. So we can keep saying that this is a horrible thing to do. You can keep tweeting, make a video or something, you can keep doing that, but ultimately it's not gonna matter if at the end of the day people are still gonna go out and buy it, because then these companies are just gonna be like, oh well, everyone bought it, so we could just increase the price again, maybe in like another year or two, because it's just gonna be the same thing happening over and over and over again, unless it's actually impacting the company, hitting them where it hurts, their wallets, their money. Nothing's gonna change. Like, we have to come together, like actually like come together and not buy their stuff. And it can't just be for a little bit, like a year. It has to be like for a while, like maybe 2-3 years or so. It has to be for a good bit of time, so they could be like, oh shit, we fucked up, we gotta change it back. But that's not gonna happen. You're probably gonna have a bunch of Xbox fanboys be like, oh, I don't give a fuck how much it costs, just take my money, it doesn't matter to me. I'm still gonna buy it. And also, the average person probably isn't keeping up with all the price changes and whatnot, so they're probably just gonna go into the store, see a game that's $80, and they're like, oh dang, it's more expensive now, huh? And they're just gonna buy because they're like, they don't know. And what's even worse for the future is that gaming is pretty much just gonna be a subscription service at that point. Because Xbox is just gonna lead people to Xbox Game Pass because it's gonna be a great deal compared to spending like $80 on every new game. And Game Pass Ultimate, that gives you access to everything, costs what, $20 a month. So compared to spending all that money, Game Pass is going to be an even greater deal than it was before. And I just don't think people are going to be buying their games anymore. Like, this is straight up when people stop buying their stuff, when they actually stop owning their games. And then I'm sure Nintendo and Sony are probably going to do the same thing and be like, well, here's our subscription service that you get access to our games too for this price. So now it's just going to be games or the subscription service. And what's crazy is that this is coming out after Clair Obscur Expedition 33 came out. Same with the Oblivion remaster. Like, those games like are good games, like they are rated highly, and they came out for like what, $50 each, and the deluxe editions were $60, and they're good games. So it's kind of like, it's pretty crazy to think that there are two games that are $50 that are amazing, and now you have some games that are going to be mediocre at best that are going to be costing $80. It's just pretty crazy to think about it like that. Honestly, at this point too, I probably wouldn't be surprised if GTA 6 was going to cost $100, because I'd be like, okay, because that's honestly the only game I'd be like, alright, like $100, I probably would buy that. And I think that's the game everyone would be like, oh yeah, you know what, I guess it's worth it, right? But I wouldn't be surprised. I said 100, but honestly, if it was like 120, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. To her, everything's going. I'd be like, okay, I guess, because people are still gonna buy that game. I don't know if I would. If GTA 6 is over $100, I'll probably wait like another year or so to play it, because it's been so fucking long since GTA 5 released. Waiting a bit longer isn't gonna kill me. It's gonna be crazy to look back one day in the future when games are probably like 150, hell, maybe even $200. It's gonna be like, dang, I remember when they cost $80. Dang, I remember when they would cost $70. It's gonna be so insane. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Xbox increased their prices on pretty much everything, and now just waiting for Sony to do the same. Let me know what you think. Gaming is really becoming an expensive hobby, and that sucks for the future. But yeah, if you're gonna defend this, please let me know why you're defending it, because I really want to see what people's excuse is gonna be. But anyways, see y'all.